guys, and welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Bourgeois, and I am here to draw badly for you. Today we have a dilapidated, possibly haunted house. Yeah, realized there that drawing up the line was not the best way to go. Will I make the lines connect? Yeah, no, I didn't. I mean, they connected. They just didn't go straight on. And the other side, I learned my lesson. That's a very rare side around here. Don't take that for granted. The house does lean to the side because I cannot draw a square or a rectangle with straight lines. Can't draw actually a straight line at all. Not really sure why I started in the middle there. I'm not really sure why I did any of this, but anyway, I was trying to draw a dilapidated, possibly haunted house because it's still October and we're still on our spooky themed Halloween stuff. And one of the ideas I got was just like a super simple house, like a kid would draw. And I'm making it sound like this some sort of artistic decision, and it's really just I don't really know how to draw like an actual house. I do know how to draw a house like an 8-year-old would draw it, so that's what we're doing here. I'm doing the windows, which are neither even in size nor do they have straight lines. They are, fortunately, I think though, the way they're leaning, they're all leaning in the same direction, and it is the same direction as the house is leaning, so we could just say that, it's all a symptom of the structural integrity of this house. And was an artistic choice again on my part, and not just because I can't draw a straight line. So we're doing the door, and I thought that the door would stand out a little better if I put like a door frame around it. Also, doors have door frames, so makes perfect logical sense. The door would have a door frame. I also decided that since this was a spooky, dilapidated house, that would probably be haunted. Sorry, I had a brain meltdown there for a second. Would possibly be haunted. The windows would be blacked out, like eyes staring back at you. Except there are 4 of them. Makes it a little less scary. It's not very realistic. Although the 2 bottom windows and the door frame do look like a frown here. I kind of like that. I don't add googly eyes to the house. I'm sorry if you came here to see me add googly eyes to the house. I don't do that though. I just black out the windows. I do have kind of a spooky story to go with this house, so I guess let's do that now. Whispers in the walls. The Craven house loomed at the end of Elm Street, a decrepit Victorian monstrosity that seemed to devour the light around it. Its paint strip clappered, and sagging roof spoke of decades of neglect. Windows, like lidless eyes, stared blankly at the world, some cracked, others boarded up as if to keep something inside rather than out. Jake, a lanky 16-year-old with a chip on his shoulder, was sick of being treated like the weirdo new kid in town. When the local teens dared him to spend a night at the infamous Craven house, he saw his chance to prove himself. One night in there? Easy, Jake scoffed, ignoring the worried looks exchanged by the other kids. But as twilight painted the sky in a bruised purples, Jake approached the rusted iron gates in front of the house. They opened with a hair-raising shriek, and the sound echoed down the empty street. Hefting his backpack, Jake strode up the weed-choked path, dead leaves crunching under his feet. The porch stairs groaned ominously as he climbed them. At the front door, Jake hesitated with his hand hovering over the tarnished doorknob. A chill wind whispered through the trees, carrying what sounded like a faint, distant cry. "Get it together," Jake muttered to himself. He turned the knob, and the door swung inward with a long, drawn-out creak. The beam of Jake's flashlight cut through the gloom, revealing peeling wallpaper and sheets draped over misshapen furniture. Dust danced in the light, swirling like silent specters. The whoa, floorboards protested under his weight, each step producing an eerie groan that seemed to echo through the empty rooms. In what must have once been a grand living room, Jake set up camp. He unrolled a sleeping bag atop a moldy Persian rug and set his flashlight on the floor. As the night deepened, an unnatural chill seeped into the air. Jake huddled in his sleeping bag, watching his breath mist in front of him. The shadows seemed to move on their own, stretching and contracting like living things in the beam of his flashlight. A sudden scratching sound made Jake bolt upright. Probably just rats, he reassured himself, his voice shaky. Then he heard it, a faint whisper, seeming to come from inside the walls themselves. "Help us," it sighed, the sound slithering into Jake's ears. "We're trapped." Jake's heart hammered against his ribs. He scrambled out of the sleeping bag, spinning around wildly. "Who's there?" he called. His voice cracked. More voices joined the first, a chorus of ghostly pleas that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere all at once. "He sealed us in," they moaned, "brick by brick, layer by layer." Oh, that's a horrible voice. I'm sorry, you guys. That was terrible. But anyway, back to the story. The whispers grew louder, more frantic. The walls began to pulse, as if something was pushing against them from inside. A dark, viscous liquid oozed from the cracks in the plaster, dripping down in sluggish rivulets. Oh, that was a hard word to say, too. Rivulets. Anyway, okay. Jake lunged for the door, but it slammed shut on its own. He yanked at the knob, but it wouldn't budge. The windows suddenly shuttered themselves, plunging the room into darkness, broken only by his fallen flashlight. "Join us," the voices hissed, no longer pleading but demanding. "Stay forever. Become part of the house." Cold, unseen hands grasped at Jake from all sides. He felt them in his hair, on his face, tugging at his clothes. He screamed, thrashing wildly, but the grip only tightened. "No, let me go," Jake cried, tears streaming down his face. He clawed at the walls, his nails breaking as he scraped the writhing plaster. The floor beneath him softened, becoming like quicksand. Jake felt himself sinking into the cold, clammy embrace of the house. The voices crescendoed in a wailing chorus, drowning out his terrified screams. As the first light of dawn crept over Elm Street, the other teens cautiously approached the Craven house. They found the front door ajar, swinging gently in the morning breeze. Inside, Jake's sleeping bag lay untouched on the floor. His backpack sat nearby, undisturbed. Of Jake himself, there was no sign. But on a wall, written in what looked horribly like dried blood, was a new message. "I'm in the walls now. I can hear the others. Don't come looking. Run." The teens fled, their screams alerting the neighborhood. Police searched the house for days, but found no trace of Jake or any evidence of foul play. Eventually the case went cold, becoming just another chapter in the dark legend of the Craven house. The old Victorian stands silent once more, but sometimes, if you listen closely, you could hear a new voice among the whispers, a young voice begging to be set free, warning others to stay away, and if you watch the walls carefully, you might see them pulse, ever so slightly, as if something or someone is trying to break free from within. Okay, and that's a good place because look, I'm coloring the walls. They're the outside walls, and they're not clapboard like they are in the story. I thought about doing that, about trying to draw a clapboard siding. It probably just would have looked like I put stripes on the house. So I don't really know how to do that. As you can see with the roof, I didn't put shingles. I probably should have done that too. I may go back and try to do that. I may actually go back and add to this picture. So tomorrow's video, or the next video, and this might be me adding like a yard, more of a yard, because as you'll see soon, I'm going to put grass in this, but adding more of a yard, adding trees, maybe try, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to try to do siding, but I might try to draw tiles on the roof, so it'll probably just look like a plaid roof. But as you can see, I tried to add mildew spots on the roof, and then there's a black hole, but it just kind of actually looks like I just started shading it and didn't finish. I don't know. You'll see in the finished thing, but the house is just kind of standing there, and there's nothing around it, and I really like creepy houses. When I was younger, I used to love to go on like ghost tours and go in abandoned buildings and old houses and do little ghost investigations. Not anything serious or anything, but it's just fun. So I really like old abandoned houses. So I might work on this one a little bit more, not because it turned out so fabulously that it needs to be, I don't know. I just like it. I might want to work on it some more. Try and redeem myself. It'll be hilarious for you guys too, because I'm sure that every attempt that I make to redeem myself on this will end in me making it monumentally worse. So yeah, I might do that just for fun and for you guys. Right here we're adding the door. I left the door bright white. I'm not sure why. I thought about coloring it purple. My front door is like very dark purple, but purple is supposed to be a sign that there's a witch inside. So I thought about doing that, but then I had made the house blue. I don't know. I still might do it. I'm also not really sure why I made the house blue instead of like gray or something. I just I don't know. And then I'm adding some dirt to the house to make it look dirty and mildewy, which I do actually think improved the situation some. Maybe not. That's just like my opinion, man. But yeah, it does definitely need a power washing and some roof work. I think once I do this, I move on to adding a little bit of grass to the front, just because it's just sort of a house floating out in the middle of nowhere. And yeah. Let's see what I do next. Oh, outline the windows in black. I wasn't really sure after outlining the windows what else I should outline. I thought about doing the roof, but then again, like I said, I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to go back and do anything to the roof, because I've been thinking after I finish this picture all night and all morning about whether I want to add more to this picture and make it more of a complete scene. Because most of the stuff I've done so far has just been, you know, an object. Yeah, there's where I thought about doing the roof and was like, no, Sarah, put the black pen away. But yeah, most of the stuff I've done so far has just been sort of an object hanging out in the middle of nowhere. I haven't really done like a full drawing or a full scene yet. So I'm thinking about possibly doing this one later. Yeah, here I am adding the grass to the front. So if I decide to go back and do more with this, I will add more grass and some trees. And I don't know, is there enough room on the paper for like a rusty swing set? Because that seems like something that I could add to make it a little bit spookier. Nothing scarier than old rusty playground equipment. Not necessarily because of the ghost kids that come with it because of tetanus, right? Yeah, so I did some grass, just sort of gave up there. Then I decided it needed like a porch stepping stone thing, because again, the front door is just sort of dangling out in the middle of nowhere. I thought about adding a welcome mat too late because I'm already coloring it in a very dark gray. So I don't think I can add a welcome mat unless that becomes the welcome mat, but I don't think that I can. I might add a little black welcome mat or something. I don't know. I'm rambling about welcome mats. Sorry, guys. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video and today's story, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.